Day is marked annually on March 8th. It is a global day to celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality. This day has occurred for well over a century, with the first gathering taking place in 1911, supported by over 1 million people. Today, Bootstrap Biz Advice is proud to host a conversation with women in tech. And this conversation is sponsored by Engie, making marketing more manageable for your small business. To learn more about Engie, visit www.engie.co.
Good morning and welcome to the Women in Tech Founder Roundtable. My name is LaShonda Brown. I am a tech educator, a YouTube coach, and a speaker based in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Now, today, we actually have audiences on both LinkedIn and on YouTube. So I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping because some of you are new here and you don't really know what you're doing, and that's okay. I'm gonna walk you through. So to get you started, I want you to know that utilizing StreamYard allows us to pop your comments on screen as we are conducting this conversation. So I want you to start with just letting us know where you are tuning in from. That's a very easy way for you to engage. And since this is based on a concept of International Women's Day, I'd love to know if we have a global audience watching live. So if you're watching live on either YouTube or LinkedIn, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Now, another thing to consider, and I want you all to know this just as a little tip, simply because some of you don't know this YouTube hack. So you can like this video right now and help the SEO of this video when this live stream ends. So what happens on YouTube is we're creating the video as I am streaming. And as soon as it's over, I can optimize it just like a feed video on my account. Now, I tested this theory out on a Monday, and within 24 hours of the live stream on Monday, I was showing up as the number 4 search result for my targeted keyword term. So the people who beat me out for posting consistently on YouTube had either a 2.85 million views or million subscribers. The next one had like 460K, 250K, and I only have 28K. So you can level the playing field on YouTube if you know how to optimize your content. This is something I talk about all the time within my membership. And so what I want you to do is go ahead and like this video, place any questions you have in the comments, because your comments will actually stay on this video when the live stream is over as well. So it counts as engagement, and it's a really easy way for me to see, did this content resonate? Should we do it again? So I really want you to talk to us. We don't want to be talking to ourselves. So just want to put that out there. The last thing I want to communicate is you can join 3,000 biz owners inside of the Bootstrap Biz community. And so what I do is I have a special newsletter segment for people who want to get a behind the scenes look at what it was like to transition from a burnt out service provider to a full-time content creator. So if you are in a state right now where you are currently burnt out, whether you are self-employed or you're employed, and you would like some mindful marketing and tech tips, then go to lashondabrown.com/join the club. And that is absolutely free. So just want to put all that out there to make sure you guys know how this works. I have some folks here from YouTube. So hello. Rafi is one of my members in the Bootstrap Creators. So hello, my dear. And I love that I can see your photo. That's so great. So thank you so much for being here from Florida. Allie is tuning in from North Carolina. So all my international friends, if y'all watching outside of the US, let us know. But before we hop into the founder story, I want to share our sponsor with you today. You heard a little hint of it, but I want to show you more how the tool actually works. So without further ado, our sponsor for today is Engie.
This live stream is sponsored by Engie. With too many tasks, too little time, and no idea where to begin, marketing your small business often feels like guessing at every turn or forgetting to do it altogether. Engie is a marketing software that empowers small business owners who have to do their own marketing but are not marketing experts. This platform helps you stay organized and understand how all parts of your marketing strategy work together. It was created by a small business marketing consultant to help marketing go from crazy daunting to totally doable. Stop overthinking, wave goodbye to guesswork, and start saving time by leveraging this incredible tool. To start your free trial, visit lashondabrown.com/NG to make marketing your business more manageable today.
So definitely check out Engie. The link is in the description of this video on YouTube. It's also in the description of the event. Now, StreamYard makes it possible to get really bad and bougie with your live streams. So we're going to add a little background music, and we're going to bring up the founder of Engie. Hello, my dear. Welcome.
Welcome. That is like the sexiest, bougiest, like most rich intro I think I'm ever going to pop onto the screen too. I love it.
Doesn't it just make you feel like, okay, it's my day?
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
So I will tell you, in my head, this is like my hybrid between the lazy podcast and the baby TV show. Like it's giving commercial break, it's giving production value, and we love that. So I first of all thank you for sponsoring this conversation because, girl, you know I slid up in your inbox like 2 weeks ago. I was like, hey,
Can we do this?
Can we do this?
And I obviously, all you had to say was International Women's Day, Women in Tech panel, talk to other really amazing, strong leaders. And I was like, that is my love language. So
yes, I was so glad. And you know what?
You.
And honestly, I shouldn't have been this way, but it really is, unfortunately, the case is that everyone doesn't always have the mindset of community over competition, right? They're always trying to like, this is my territory. I'm not sharing my turf. And so I just love that you made space for other women to be elevated because I want to see that happening more. And so it makes my heart happy to be aligned with a brand that gets it. You know, if you know, you know. So I'm just so grateful for you. So I want to start with giving you the stage and allowing you time to simply share what your founder story was, because you didn't start in software. So we got to take people on the journey. So I'm going to give you the floor, and I would love for you to share that with the audience.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you everyone for taking the time out of your day to join us live for this roundtable. We're going to have a really amazing conversation this morning. But my name is Taylor Cusick-Holman, if this is the first time that we are having an opportunity to connect. And like LaShonda said, my background is not in technology. I am only dangerous enough to like break some HTML, so don't ask me to code anything. But my background is as a small business marketing consultant, and I've had the pleasure of working with hundreds of small businesses around the world in the last 9 years. And really, what the biggest thing that everyone would come to me asking for, or really saying, was, Taylor, just can you tell me what to do? And that was really the case for businesses of all different types: wedding planners, photographers, people in the retail space. It was the common thread because we've all heard this before. If you own a business, you did not probably expect to need to become an expert marketer. And all of a sudden, this thing gets thrust on you and you have to be really good at it. And it's super important for your business and you don't know up from down. And so what my clients would hire me to do was to create a marketing strategy to give them clarity about, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you don't need to worry about. Like, go fly with this little birdie and, go forth. But the problem is I didn't realize it was a problem until, hindsight 2020. I would create these really amazing, robust, beautiful marketing strategies for my clients and deliver them as these beautiful PDFs, only for them to get probably just skimmed through once or twice, and then they would die on their computer. And so what I kept seeing were clients who had invested in me and in themselves with these strategies for them to not do anything with it. And so I had the idea for turning myself into software during COVID. So this is basically like a COVID project gone super rogue in the best way. But what I realized during that time of even though I was pretty busy with client work, I also simultaneously had more white space to think about things. And what I really realized is that small business owners were not equipped with the tools that they need to actually do their marketing. And so that was where the breakdown was, that you could give someone a plan, but then they were left without the things that they needed to do the plan. And so that really was the spark that got all of my wheels spinning. And I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. So we spent 2 years developing NG. I have 2 fantastic partners who are the ones who do all of the tippy tapping and writing of the code. And we launched in May of 2023. And since then, we have had thousands of small business owners try us out. And we're getting really amazing feedback about how we are helping them really wrap their arms around this thing called marketing in a way that is more similar to how I would help them and support them if they were working with me one-on-one, but it's all through marketing software. So that's really the core of what we're doing. And our mission is to make marketing manageable for small business owners everywhere. And that is exactly what I wake up every morning and grind it out to continually make our tools better and give you exactly what it is you need. So that's my story about where I started as a consultant who's doing everything in a very humanistic way and figured out a way to turn myself into software.
I actually love that phrase. And I am super excited for those of y'all on LinkedIn who don't know about this. If you was on the Instagrams, you'd know. But I'm turning myself into software for my YouTube membership. So I'm like, girl, this is stressful. I'm like the crap. I'm like, I have never in my life thought about font size and thumbnails. I'm like, this is crazy. But like at the same time that you like want to die a little inside, you're like, but when I finish, this is going to help so many people. Mm-hmm. And I want more women to understand that they can do it too. And you're going to be able to scale your knowledge and your impact because of this tool. And I'm just so grateful that you took the time to do it, because like, I'm not gonna lie to you, girl. When you were telling me, like, I had followed you on Instagram and I'm like, so what is this? But when I got in it, I was like, shut the front door. I mean, like, when you sent me, and it was like so meta, like you sent me your brand kit through NG for your NG stuff. And I was like, everything's in one spot. I used to have to like create forms to get like the colors and the logos and all that stuff for my clients, to think about the fact that they could have a platform where all that stuff is stored, where you can just share a link and it's done. I'm like, it all makes so much sense. So
it all makes so much sense.
You did it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did it.
Yep. And it's really like all these little Easter eggs are really just, some of them are rooted in my pain point of like, can you please not ask me to screenshot the logo off of your website ever again? Right? Or
please
like,
don't make me go on Canva and have to use background remover, girl. Like, just send me that PNG. Can I get a vector file? Like, can I please? So I love it. I love it. And it's so funny because like, as these women start sharing their stories, because I saw this and now they're going to see it. There's so much synergy. So I'm like, I'm waiting to see what y'all going to create after this. So secretly, that's why you're here. But up next, we have the fabulous Tova. my music. And we're fading. We're fading. And Tova, if you want to go ahead and unmute,
Hey there.
we are
Thanks so much
live.
for having me.
Oh my goodness. So, Tova, we have to tell the people that you and I actually got to meet in person
We did.
because I like to crash things. So do you want to tell that story? Because I would love to hear it from your perspective.
So it's so funny because I don't even think of it as a crash because I was like, just like Lashonda belongs here with us. So my co-founder Josh lives on a farm in Virginia, which isn't so far from where you live, Lashonda, and we had this. I want to say impromptu. A lot of we all work remotely, and so a lot of our meetings happen in different places in the world, and they sometimes happen impromptu. And I can't remember. I think we had just a tiny amount of time to
I think like
plan.
it was technically labeled a retreat, but you guys had
Yeah,
never been in the same room together, which I didn't realize until
yeah.
I crashed it. I was like, y'all haven't even seen each other in person. So like you're all
so
technically strangers.
so okay. So this is good. I'm going to get into this when we talk about the founder story because I I I feel like I make such I feel like I've crafted a way of living that allows me to make such interesting and valuable connections with people online that when I meet them in person, I'm like, oh, like we know each other, we've met each other, we've hung out. Like it didn't even occur to me that like this was like weird. It's like the first time in person. Like it's all the same to me. It's like I've like that's how I feel like I'm winning is like when I'm designing the ability for people to like meet each other in ways that like when I feel like I meet them in person, like, all right, like we know each other, we're comfy with each other, like we're already friends. It's not like there's a barrier anymore.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so that's how I felt when I met you in person. It's like I know Shonda. It's like not strange to like see her in person when I've only seen her before on a video screen.
Well, what was even funnier is like not only did I feel like I really knew you, but I had stumbled into a groove with your husband and you were on some trip and he like starts saying all these details about you and I'm like, this guy really knows Tova. Like it's getting kind of weird. Like how would he know like where she's at, what she's doing? And so I get out of the groove, I go look at his profile and I see the last name and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh.
Like when I tell you, girl, I had him like on the groove in the Hobby Lobby. I was like, today I will be grooving my trip to Hobby Lobby so I don't lose all my money. Hold me accountable. Thank you. And so like after I left, he
Oh,
was like,
that's a
so what did
hard
you
one.
get? Like he was so nice about it. And so I just thought it was hysterical that I didn't realize until after the fact who he was. So I think it was better that way.
Doing a group so that you don't spend all your money in Hobby Lobby is actually really smart because that's
It's
a
not a bad
really
idea.
hard thing to do, not to lose
Yeah,
all your money in Hobby Lobby.
I've done workout grooves. I'm like, okay, I will work out during this groove. I'm telling you this now.
Yeah,
See you in 50. Let's see
I'm
if
the
I'm skinny.
same.
Like, I'll do it. Like that's how I do it. So it's so good. But like obviously we've teased out what in the world groove is. So I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you the opportunity to share more.
Okay. So Taylor was talking about like a NG as like a COVID project gone rogue, which I thought was like a really funny way to describe. Um, so so Groove, which I'm one of the co-founders right now, it's it's not a COVID project, I wouldn't say, but it was a COVID era project that took on a life of its own. Um, so I should start at the beginning really quickly. So I have over 20 years of experience in art and design, designing all kinds of things. So for the first part of my career, I was designing like physical objects. Like I worked for Clinique and Estee Lauder on their design teams, designing. It was like doing graphics in stores and all kinds of stuff. I made my way kind of like on a wavy path towards designing really spaces and objects and products and housewares and all kinds of things. And then for the last decade, I've been focusing on technology, apps to be specific, and mobile interfaces. And the path that took me there is because the thing that has always driven to me to design and creativity is the question of who's on the other end of what I'm creating, and who's, you know, who am I connecting with by creating this thing, whatever it is that I'm creating, this app, this interface, this brochure, this poster, this tea towel. And it was always important to me in whatever I was designing to create spaces and to create ways for people to connect with one another, and for me to connect with the person who was going to use whatever I was creating. So I had been at that time, I have kind of like I've made a number of interesting choices. And I guess it relates to International Women's Day as well, is that my husband and I wanted to be young parents. We had children very early. As a lifestyle choice, not always so common, but at the same time, I never saw it as a conflict between that and something like, whatever creative career I wanted. I just always assumed I was going to do both. That's partly to do with the role model I had with my own parents and what I saw around me, but that was just always my plan. And then fast forward a while to realizing that, let's say, full-time corporate work wasn't going to give me that lifestyle that I had expected to have, where there wouldn't be a conflict between family and career and self-actualization. I eventually, because of that, became a solopreneur, and I worked for myself. And that was a big, scary decision, which, I really respect anyone who does it. It really took me on a new path, and it led me to meet my two co-founders at Groove, who share the same values as I do around making life choices in work and life that give you agency over your time, or over what you spend your time on, over the people that you're going to meet, over being able to accomplish the big things that you want to accomplish. So my co-founders, Josh and Srili, and I met during COVID, and the idea came from this sort of scenario where you want to be able to, in order to kind of live the life that you want to be able to do your own kind of work. A lot of time you're working alone if you're a solopreneur, but at the same time, you need to be able to kind of surround yourself with the people who are going to light you up professionally, maintain relationships you want to maintain with those people you really love, and meet people that are, going to support you through all of the ups and downs, the difficult parts, and also the fun parts of being able to, live the life you want to live and doing the work you want to do. And so the concept of Groove is like this. It's a virtual co-working community. It's a community app. And the way it works is that all of us know, I guess, when you're working from home all day long, you might sometimes feel like you're losing a little bit of structure. You don't have enough structure in a day. You might not have enough accountability to feel like you can actually really bang stuff out and get things done that you want to get. So the way that Groove works is it's a virtual co-working space for creative entrepreneurs. You go in there and you kind of have a very simple interface in this app. You press one button, sends out a bat signal to other people that you're looking to co-work right now, and it matches you up with between 2 and 3 other people who are similar to you. Other people are all around the world who are also kind of living interesting lives, creative entrepreneurs working on their own from home. And you get on there and you share your goals for the next 2 or 3 minutes. You share your goal for the next hour. What do you want to accomplish in the next 50 minutes? Press start. It sends us all into work mode, and we all go off and we work on our own, quiet, undisturbed. We can all focus on what we want. And then we hop back in at the end to share how it went. And it sounds so deceptively simple, but it's incredibly effective at helping people build the right relationships in a low lift way, even if you're an introvert. Maintain those relationships and make real friendships a lot faster than you would at an office or at a co-working space. And it helps you get so much more done in your day. So it's like a win-win all around. And so that's like, that is in a nutshell. That's my story, and that's what I do now. And I'm really happy to be doing it. I'm happy to be here too.
So I actually pulled up my phone, and y'all need to understand, when I start partnering with brands, I basically move into the break room. Even if they don't have an office, I'm in there. I'm basically honorary employee. And so I opened up my Groove account, and I'm one of the OG Groovers. Some people don't call themselves that. I do. I have grooved 1,545 times since the app was in beta. So that
That makes me
means,
so
let me get
happy.
my calculator. So 1545 times 50 minutes is 77,250 minutes spent in this app. So if y'all
Spent
want to know about the groove,
intentionally,
not
being
squirreling.
intentional with your time.
I
Amazing.
remember getting on Groove and telling Taylor, who's the head of community, I would like to be a full-time YouTuber. I don't know how to make that happen, but I want to stop doing client work. Like, I really want to try to do this. I said that in a Groove. So when I tell you, this app is how I write scripts, it's how I work out, it's how I network, like, I'm all up in there. So we did a series back in May for a Small Business Month or Small Business Week, and Groove sponsored it. And so I got to share 5 different ways that you can support small businesses where you live. And in every single video, there is an ad for Groove, and it shows how it works, similar to what we did with NG. And so I just want to put this and affirm this in you, Tova, that like, in a season where there are so many disconnected people, like the loneliness epidemic is real, right? We end the pandemic, and here comes the
It really
epidemic
is.
of loneliness. The Groove, it bridges the gap. It makes reaching out to new people so much easier. It helps people to foster relationships in a really low lift kind of way. And it actually, like, the way I describe Groove is, it's one of the only apps on my phone that gives and doesn't just take. And I think that that is so, like, y'all can steal that for your marketing if you want to. But like, truly, like, when you think about
Love
Instagram, you're
it.
like, my soul goes here to die, but I got to do it for my
Yeah.
business. But you
Yeah.
go to Groove to lift your spirits. You go to Groove to be productive. You go to Groove to encourage others who were an encouragement to you when you were procrastinating and you weren't getting anything done. And so, like, what a beautiful ecosystem. And like, that retreat to me was such a confirmation that like, you guys are on the right track, because we were all strangers. And like, Moshe and I were like singing, I think we were singing like "What a Wonderful World"
Yes,
in the
I
corner.
remember.
He's like strumming guitar, and like
There were a
people
lot of
are like,
songs sung.
girl, it was like somebody transported us back to Woodstock, and we were living our best lives on that farm. Like, it was hysterical, but like,
Yeah.
our hearts craved connection so deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that tech is being used to do positive things in the world and not just tear people down. And like, even I love like the intentional side of like, the like, at very first when you guys launched the app, there was a leaderboard, and people are so used to gaming the system and wanting to
Yeah.
rank themselves that there are people who would like groove forever just to be on the leaderboard. And you guys
Yes.
saw that and you took it out because that
Yes,
wasn't
that's
the
right.
point of the app. And I just thought, like,
Yeah.
who's doing that? Like, you saw
Yeah.
this has the
We
potential to
try.
be toxic, and that's not what we want. And so, thank you for creating space. Thank you for creating space for people to have healthy relationships with technology, because like, I see tech as this beautiful thing, but I can't ignore the fact that there's so many people using it to do evil things.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for you. I'm so glad you're here. You are in Jerusalem right now, though, right?
Yes, I
Yes.
am.
So I hard stop have to get Tova out so she can observe Shabbat. So We're gonna keep it moving. So here comes some music.
Thanks, Lashonda.
Welcome, Nicole.
Oh, Lashonda. Oh my goodness. Taylor, Tava, what incredibly inspiring stories. And I love hearing the stories of using tech for good, right? I mean,
Right?
just building great communities. So thank you. And yes, I agree. That music is a good way to start.
Vibe. Like, it's like, can I enter every room like that? Like, I would be in a much better mood. So I want to keep it moving so that we can get to the questions. So Nicole, girl, tell them your story because your story is really interesting.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for having me on here. And what a great day to do this for International Women's Day in honor of women and women in tech, which is fantastic. So yeah, my story is I've been in the coaching industry for about 15 years. And prior to that, I was in corporate and I was in film and television production for a while. But building Zoe has been an incredible journey. And like Taylor, I do not have a background in tech, but I saw a real opportunity and a need in an incredible industry with the coaching industry and being able to solve real problems for small business coaches that are starting off. And so being in this industry for 15 years, I've seen a lot of changes over the years. It's been really incredible to see the pre-COVID experience versus post-COVID experience. Technology is really driving a lot of online communication, communities, and really driving a lot of things. And so being in the coaching community, I was a coach, built my own business, and I quickly started working with other coaches that graduated from incredible certification schools, but were really struggling on that post-graduation journey. What do I do? How do I set up a business? Where do I go for my billing? Where do I go for scheduling? Like, how do I set up my client communications, my CRMs? And through that process, because I have a background in business, I started mentoring and coaching hundreds of other coaches through this process. And this was just before COVID when I was doing this, and really was frustrated that it was really difficult to set coaches up for success because a lot of these early technology platforms out there are not specifically designed for a service type business. So I started kind of hacking things together and creating and streamlining businesses for the coaches that I was working with. And through that experience, I had this Shark Tank moment and I thought, you know what, there's got to be a better way. How can we actually bridge the gap from certification schools to building profitable businesses for these amazing coaches? And so I told my husband, I'm going to build a tech company. He's like, okay, all right, we're going to build a tech company. I'm like, I am. We're going to do this. So went out and started prototyping, met with a lot of different coaches just to really understand how just the diversity in businesses. Something I'm really proud of with Zoe is that we have coaches on our platform, everything from executive coaching to spiritual coaching and everything in between. And it's really important that as we build community that we're building many voices. So during this process, built a prototype. I got into Techstars, which was great. And Techstars really launched my career to launch what is now Zoe. And what Zoe is just an incredible platform that simplifies and streamlines the business of coaching. We focus on an all-in-one platform so coaches can have one safe, secure place to run their entire business. So the days of thinking like, I have to learn how to do billing, I have to learn how to do scheduling, I have to learn to do this, I have to learn to do that. Zoe's just built like a really cool automated process so coaches can show up and do what they're meant to do, and that is to serve their clients and have a great impact on humanity. So we have a really cool platform, and then we're also building community and connection through mentorship programs, coach-to-coach referral programs, and just a really cool, diverse community. And then the third part of it is we're building out a marketplace to go out and try to find aligned clients for coaches to get new business. And it's been an incredible journey. We just launched our MVP last November, so we're really new. But it's just been interesting to listen to the other stories about how incredibly important it is to build community, not competition, community over competition. And I think that's one of our sweet spots here at Zoe, is building a really cool community with many different voices, many different types of coaches, building out really incredible businesses. And so I'm excited to be here. I wanted to keep it short, LaShonda, because I know we're pressed on time here at the end, but that's my story.
Well, I love that. And what I want to do at this point is transition to a time of Q&A with the founder. So we are going to bring up Tova and Taylor. I have a question for each of them to get them started. And if you have questions, whether you are watching on LinkedIn or on YouTube, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I can actually pop your comment up on screen once we get through the questions that I have prepared. So I'm going to play the Bootstrap Stinger and bring up the ladies. And we're back. I'm telling you right now, StreamYard's going to be sick of me because I love this software. I cannot. So I want to start with Tova. But fam, I'm going to give y'all a little help here, okay? What you see on screen right now is a really good thing for you to take a picture of and post on the social medias and share the YouTube replay link, okay? So let me help y'all out. Y'all go ahead. We're going to stop for a minute. We're going to smile for you. Y'all take a picture and then you tag them, okay? So you tag, if you're on LinkedIn, you tag Nicole, you tag Taylor, you tag Tova, you tag Groove, you tag Angie, you tag Zoe. And then we're going to trend on the LinkedIn because of what you're doing, okay? So some of y'all don't be thinking of this stuff. I'm trying to help you out, okay? So ladies, if you will, I'm going to count to 3. We're going to give them a real good smile to help the people. And then we'll go into our Q&A. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. I love that. I love that for us. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Tova's question, which is, you have created physical and digital artwork for years. How do you infuse your creativity into physical and digital things you design for Groove?
Love to answer that. Yeah. Okay. So the most important thing that I would say about my approach to design, or to answer the question, is that it starts from understanding people and meeting them where they are. So when it comes to Groove, we know that our community is largely people who are working from home. Maybe they're on their own, they're working from a home office, right? So that makes sense why we would start mailing people fun stuff to have on their desk, like a fun coffee mug that helps you wake up in the morning and it's fun to see, or like a little phone stand that you can put your phone up while you're using the Groove app on your phone, or a poster in the background, things that will make the home office kind of nice. Just, for example, of meeting somebody where they are. Or, for example, a lot of the design updates that we are working on right now have to do with the fact that when somebody first signs up to Groove, it might be because they're overwhelmed with all the hats they have to wear, or all the tasks or things that they have to get done during the day or during the week. And so how do we, make our interface work for somebody who's like just overstimulated, just overwhelmed right now? How do you strip back things and just give people the most simple version of something possible? So those are just 2 examples of where I think the driving principle of like how do you infuse creativity, I think it just always starts from, how do you really see the person who's sitting in front of you in order to just give them what they need at this moment in time.
I love that. And I'm waiting to get all my stuff. This was the first thing. This here mug. Start the day strong with Groove. But I know there is a merch that you can wear and not just put on your desk. So is there a direct link to the merch shop now for Groove?
There is. It's store.groove.oo, I believe.
Okay, I'll create it. So it is store.groove.oo.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want merch, get your merch. So all you groovers watching this to support Kova, y'all go ahead and get y'all stuff so we can be twinning on a groove. Okay. Love that. Up next, we have Taylor. This is your question, my dear. You have taken your decade of marketing experience, and a lot of people, there we go. A lot of people could have taken their decade of marketing experience and created a course. Instead of making a course for you to share your knowledge, you made software. Why'd you do it?
Why did I do that? Well, because the thing is, education and knowing how to do something is a big part of being successful with marketing and just different aspects of our businesses. But if we don't do anything with what we learn, then it's the same as if we hadn't, taken that course or downloaded that resource in PDF, right? And so my biggest goal was to activate people to do their marketing, right? Like, I have this phrase that I've started saying is that the least lazy marketer wins. And when I say that, it's because it's not always about being the best at something. A lot of marketing is just at its core about consistency. And I'm not, this is not breaking news. It's going to be like splashed across the internet. Marketing requires consistency. And so taking a course or putting all of my knowledge into a course doesn't facilitate someone actually having a consistent marketing routine. And so that was really the thing where I sat down and I decided I need to do this differently. And it does help I don't have a background in software. I did a very short corporate stint in software sales, but my spouse is in technology. He's one of my co-founders. And so I've always been around this cohort of friends who that's how their brains think. And so that has impacted and influenced how I look at solving problems. And so I just thought that giving people actual tools was going to have a bigger impact than just giving them information.
Good answer. I love that. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to bring up Nicole for her question. And then what we're going to do is Taylor, Nicole, and I will answer the questions that you guys pop into the chat. And then we will hard stop when we're through those questions. So Nicole, here is your question, my dear. Zoe currently has a 0% churn as of February 2024. What advice do you have for SaaS brands looking to reduce churn and increase LTV?
And I think, speak what Tava said is that you really need to, when building a company, meet your customers, meet your people where they are, show up where they are. And you hear people like Simon Sinek and some of the greats talk about pull your product to market, don't push it. So although I've been in the coaching industry for 15 years and I know what I needed and the gaps and the problems that I wanted to solve for myself is why I built Zoe. But why Zoe is so successful in our early stages is really because we take the time to listen to our customers. We take the time to work with our customers. We're also building an incredible community where our customers are our partners, and we're solving real problems for self-employed businesses. And this is their livelihood. So we show up where they are, we listen to them, we build that community and connection, and then we respond. And we respond authentically, quickly, efficiently, and with positive energy. So that your customer, they know that you're a new company and there's some forgiving there because they know, okay, you're a startup. But what's really important is the ability to respond, to hear, to respond, and to work with them on a professional level. And So when I think about what we're building, since we've launched the MVP, it's really about building that community, being very authentic, being very connected to your customer, and really understanding what their problem is, solving their problem, not what you think their problem is, and really pulling that product to market and building up your customers and your partners.
So good. So we have a few questions here. Just want to remind you guys that if you put it in the comments, we can pop it up. I did see a question at the beginning of the stream, so we're going to start there, and we will answer like you see the ladies on screen. So we'll do Nicole, and then we'll do Taylor to answer the question. So our first question is, what is the best way to pivot into tech?
Ooh, that's a juicy question. That's a really good, juicy question. I think thinking about tech for good, that technology is a vehicle to help solve a problem. So if you're focused on the problem and you're focused on building something great, focus on that, and then look at how the tech can help you achieve that. Technology isn't, if you've never been in tech before, it's not as scary as it seems. I know it feels really scary if you've never done it before. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a huge mountain to climb. But really, if you embrace it, and if you use it for love, and you use it for to build something really great, it's just another tool in your toolbox that you can build a great company with. So I think the first thing is, number one, don't be afraid of it, embrace it. And number two, look at it as how technology is going to help you build the company. That would be my advice.
That's great advice. And for those of you who were connecting for the first time, hi, my name is Taylor, and I'm always very tactical with me. One of the, I think, most important things when you are pivoting into technology, when it's not your zone of genius, is to educate yourself about the basics. But then it's really, really, really important to find good partners. And I've seen it before where they're like, oh, I will go offshore this. I'll hire a developer in, India or Eastern Europe, and they'll build it for me. But especially for those of you watching, I mean, for people like myself and Nicole, who and LaShonda now as well, who are productizing themselves, you cannot underestimate how important it is to know how to communicate with your partner who is actually building out the technology. Like, you need to be able to clearly communicate the problem that you're trying to solve for the people that you're trying to serve, like Nicole was talking about, but also, what does it need to look like? How does it need to function? What's like the input and the outputs? And so I have seen great ideas fail because they didn't find the right partners to help them actually bring it to life.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think along those lines too, I'm always saying the phrase leverage. And I think that sometimes people don't understand why I land on that phrase so much. When you're actually leveraging something, you are taking advantage of the power of something else, and you are using it to your benefit to go even further than what you could do on your own. So when I say leverage tech, what I mean by that is you yourself have the ability to accomplish something in your business. But if you imagine yourself as like that seesaw where it's, level playing field, as soon as, you put the leverage of Zoe on one side or the leverage of Angie on the other side, now you can take what they took the time to cultivate and you can use that to literally elevate your business. And so like I try to give people those visuals. I try to get people to understand that tech is not a scary thing. Tech is a tool. A tool can be used for good. A tool can be used for bad. It all depends on what you input into that tool. And so I am trying to utilize platforms like YouTube and tools like StreamYard to make tech education more engaging, more affordable, and more accessible. And so if you're trying to pivot into tech, you have to understand the concept of leverage, whether you're leveraging a degree or you're leveraging a job that you have now, or you're leveraging a SaaS tool that already exists. Like, if you can wrap your head around the fact that it's okay to give yourself that unfair advantage, then you will go far, right? Because we have no problem paying for degrees to gain something, right? Like, you're not just giving your money away to college. Like, you're like, nah, sis, I'm gonna give you this 20K, but you fit in to equip me to go do some things. And if they don't, you leave, right? Like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, if your classes suck, if it's not relevant to what you're trying to do, like, you transfer, right? We understand that on that level. We understand that with other tech tools like a Netflix, right? Like, if you go on Netflix and you don't want to watch anything there, what do? You unsubscribe. You say, nah, sis, cancel that subscription. I'll renew, when my show comes out. So, like, you understand the concept of leverage, but you do not apply that to career advancement enough, right? You have got to leverage your network, leverage where you live. Like, I leverage living in the mountains. It's cheap as crap to live here, but the quality of life is high. That is why you will not catch me in New York. You will not catch me in LA. Like, I'm like, y'all can have all of those real estate prices. I'm about to live in a 3-story townhouse for less than 1K a month. Real story. We'll talk about it later. Like, I am leveraging where I live to advance my career because I can get on a plane, I can get on a train, my husband can drive the Tundra. Like, I can make it happen. So, like, my home base is here on purpose. All of these things go back to that concept. So, as women, we need to find, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a woman, but you need to find people that are willing to pour into you and encourage you to do things that you haven't seen people do before. I didn't have that, right? If I go back to 2011, when I decided that I wasn't going to be an actress and I was going to be a business owner, even though I'd never seen that happen for anybody who didn't own a hair salon or a restaurant, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to do it because I'm not trying to be homeless, right? And over time, that evolved from serving other people, which is what I knew how to do really well, to saying, oh my gosh, I look back and I'm like, crap, I got a decade of experience here using all these tech tools because I had to bootstrap it. That's where the name comes from. Bootstrap Biz Advice is my attempt to be the mentor that I always wanted and never had. There weren't enough Black women in tech who look like me, who are willing to show up on a live stream, show up on a video with braids and vibrant clothes and say, look, sis, like, you can do this. The best way to pivot into tech is to find people willing to encourage you and say, it's possible. I don't care if you haven't seen it yet. Be that person. You be the first. You pave the way. You go forth. You just try. The quickest way to get somewhere is to start moving. So, like, what can you do right now? The amount of times tech iterates, like, they don't get it right out the gate. Like, there's a whole mindset. Like, don't even get me started on agile and all that crap. Like, they know for a fact you learn by doing. So you have to do. So the best thing I can tell you to do is I am going to connect you with people, whether it's on LinkedIn or on YouTube, that I have personally vetted. And I've said, okay, these people get it. Like, if you know, you know. I'm not letting everybody show up on here. And when I tell you, even in our membership, we have a thing called Tea Time where I legit talk about the people I passed on because they did not come correct and their stuff was not right. Okay. Like, I don't just go for the money grab because I have ethics, I have morals, and I have a responsibility. And so if they are here, if they are on this stage, they're here for a reason. So the best way for you to continue to grow and keep it free 99 is find those educators on platforms like YouTube that are willing to share, that are not gatekeeping because they're getting paid with AdSense. They're getting paid with brand deals. They truly have a servant's heart. They are there on YouTube. The community on YouTube is so fabulous for that. So you don't have to get the degree anymore. Girl, you can go on Skillshare. You can go on Udemy. You can go to University of YouTube. Like, it's insane because of tech, what is possible. But if you've already decided it's not possible, it doesn't matter what's out there. So if nobody told you, I'm telling you, you too can be a woman in tech, because your girl got degrees in playing pretend. Let's be honest. My degrees are in theater arts, performance, and production. Why do I understand this? Literally, heaven only knows. But I'm here and I'm trying to help y'all. Okay. So here we are doing the thing, trying to help y'all. And I cannot tell you how freaking happy I am to be able to provide this space, because I wasn't seeing this in 2011. I was not seeing women celebrating women, women sharing, women celebrating. Like, I'm so encouraged by this. And like, if you are watching this live, if you got this far in the replay, share this to show somebody what's possible. Like, you have no idea. None of us had this in our cards when we, started working. When your girl was a waitress at the dinner theater, she did not know. She did not know that she was going to understand what Agile was. Like, but here we are. And so I want to pour that into whoever it is that needs that encouragement to just do it. None of us have our crap together 100% of the time. You have no idea. Girl, I'm wearing house shoes and yoga pants right now, but the top is giving. Like, we doing the best we can, okay? We doing the best we can, but we helping whoever we can. And that's what it's all about. So I want to see what we got in here. Yes, leverage with a purpose. Tech is not scary. Tech is a tool that's so good. Fun fact, both Alan and Lex are watching this live from my hometown. And I say hometown because like I decided I'm from here now. We are going to be taking pictures for the app. So you will see their shining faces in the app when you screen rolls us out when I get my crap together. So we working on the branding. Like I'm really particular about imagery, y'all. Like we're not doing stock photos. I had a stock photo brand. So I'm like, we not doing some disconnect there. So I'm excited about it. So they're here. Hey guys, we're going to brunch soon. Okay. Last question we have here is, as a woman navigating the tech industry, what specific strategies or advice do you have for overcoming challenges and breaking through potential gender biases? So between the two of y'all, because I done enough talking, I feel like I'm going to pass this to Nicole. How you feeling about that, Taylor? Do you want to pass it to her? Yeah? Okay. Nicole, hit it.
It's a good question. It's a question that is hard to answer in just a few minutes because there's so many different, I would say, individual kind of circumstances and how you navigate it all. But here would be just kind of looking through my last few years, navigating corporate and that whole thing, and then navigating tech and some of the biases, raising money. Fundraising, women founders, get less than 2%, I think, or less than 3% of funding out there. So there's a lot of biases that are sometimes not readily available. Like we don't always know what those biases are, but we kind of, have these things. So my response to that is that just be bold. I love what LaShonda said. Just take action. Just do it. Just get out there, roll up your sleeves, and just do what you want to do. Stay focused on what it is that you are manifesting and want to create in your life. And don't let that negative outpouring or that negative stuff get into your head. Just let that be. I saw this really incredible cartoon. It was a few months ago, and I thought it was so spot on. And it's what you focus on is what you will create in your life. And it was this woman in a bus, and she was on the left side of the bus, and on the left side was a mountain that was all gray and gloomy and cloudy and rainy. And then there was somebody on the right side of the bus that was looking over a vista of a sunrise with a rainbow and all of that. And literally, not to downplay this, but literally what you focus on, you will create in your life. So I think the first thing is that focus on you, focus on what you want to manifest and what you want to create in your life, and focus on the good. So when there are opportunities, like LaShonda said too, and build your community, build your tribe, build the people around you, the women that are going to lift you up and support you on your journey. Because you've made a decision to do something, and you've made a decision not necessarily just to be in tech, but you've made a decision to build an amazing career. You have a vision for yourself. Focus on that, stay on that road. And when those things come in, those biases, just wash them away. They're going to happen. Just don't focus on that. Don't let it derail you. Don't let it get you down. Focus on building that support in the community around you, and start, and focus on what it is that you're trying to create. I think that's how we lift each other up. And then mentor other people as well. We need a community around us to mentor us, but one of the best ways to lift us up is when we're mentoring other people. So build a community that not only you're getting lifted up, but that you can lift other women up as well. And we can be pretty darn powerful, us women, when we get together and get our mind on something. So that would be my recommendation.
I think this here live stream was fire. Y'all better watch that replay. Like, when I tell you, like, I had a vision, but this was better than the vision. So thank you both. I mean, I want to do this more often. I want to bring something different to the table than what we're seeing on LinkedIn, because y'all stuff be dusty and crusty. I'm sorry, but like, we need some life over here. YouTube is popping, but LinkedIn is coming. We're coming there. So thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Taylor, again for sponsoring this. Let me put my affiliate link up here for real, for real. Y'all can go to LashondaBrown.com/NG and try NG for free. So y'all check that out, because NG, like, I cannot wait to play with it more, girl. Like, I'm gonna upload this stuff for the membership and the new logos and the icons and the colors. Like, it's so freaking good. So thank you both again for being here. Thank you to Tova. Y'all go ahead and get y'all merch at store.groove.000 for Out of Office, which I love. Like, who thinks of that? Like, Tova is on another playing field. Like, I'm like, who thinks of that? So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna land the plane with a little housekeeping, but thank you again. And friends, I want you to know that I have some workshops coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that info for you. When we talk about making education more accessible, this is one of the ways that I do it. So Lex and I will be doing a workshop on March 26th, and it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about how to stop losing time and money marketing online. Lex is a growth marketer for creatives. She worked a ton in Silicon Valley. Randomly, she worked in the office too. She's lived like 10 lives. I love her. But this aspect of her will be focused on marketing experimentation and really showing you guys what that looks like and how to navigate it. So the two ways that you can participate in the workshop opportunity is either go to lashondabrown.com/workshops and just buy a $10 ticket, or for $10 a month, you can become a star student. You'll get a ticket to this event, and you'll get all the replays for the past workshops that we've presented. So some of those workshops include a phenomenal conversation with Sean Scott about rates and media kits. And Amber and I did an amazing live stream workshop about AI. So I learned so much from her. You can also go to lashondabrown.com/workshops to suggest a topic in the suggestion box. So I'm open. I'm really trying to provide a forum for subject matter experts to talk to my community. So feel free to do that. It is a paid opportunity for subject matter experts. So if you, LinkedIn fam, if you have something that you want to share, then go ahead, hit me up in the DMs on LinkedIn. You can also go to lashondabrown.com/contact and fill out the form there. I believe the last thing I want to say before we land this plane is, once again, if you liked this video, go ahead and like this video, especially if you're watching on YouTube. I am thinking, if you guys are into this, I'm thinking about doing a Canva tutorial about how I use Canva to create my assets for live streaming and StreamYard, right? So I love to pair tech tools together. I'm a Canva verified expert. And so I made a lot of the stuff that you guys saw in Canva. And so I have a feeling that a lot of you don't know that some of these features exist. So if you are interested in me doing a Canva tutorial, a very extensive tutorial about how to leverage Canva for your StreamYard video graphics, just put Canva in the comments, whether you're watching on LinkedIn or you're watching on YouTube. If I see that you guys have placed the word Canva in the comments enough, then that will, number one, tell me you got this far in the video. And number two, that will justify the amount of time it's going to take for me to create that content. So again, if you would like to see how I created different graphics, like, let's go back, like this was made in Canva. This was made in Canva. Just put Canva in the comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. This was the very first founder roundtable discussion that I've done. Again, this is the year of shoot my shot. So I'm just asking people, and they say no, they say no. But it's giving fun education, and it's allowing you all to be a fly on the wall with some really incredible founder and C-suite folks. So yeah, if you want to see more of this, also let me know that in the comments. If you have some people that you would like for me to connect with, I am a firm believer in using my platform to elevate other people. I believe in the concept of community over competition, and I especially want to help more women to reach a larger audience. After this is over, my team will be taking segments of this and providing it to the speakers as content for them to repurpose as a gift to them for being in the roundtable discussion. So that's another benefit for you participating in one of these conversations. So again, if you're interested, if you would like to share about a specific topic, if you would like to be a guest, like I'm in my networking era on LinkedIn. Surprise, surprise. I'm wanting to meet new people because I really want to break up with Instagram. Instagram is my toxic ex-boyfriend, or Instagram is my toxic boyfriend that I want to make an ex, but I got too many followers over there. So we're trying to grow the LinkedIn so I can leave Instagram. So equip me to be great over here. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for engaging in the comments. I thank you for sharing. Like, there are so many people that liked this event on LinkedIn, that RSVP'd to the event. That's another way that helps in the LinkedIn algorithm to get out for more people. If you are leveraging StreamYard to multi-stream to LinkedIn and to YouTube, what it does is it creates a LinkedIn event when you schedule the live stream. So you will enhance your live audience simply by scheduling your content ahead of time. And then I actually take a little post-it note just like this, and I write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. And I go through my LinkedIn connections and I manually invite the relevant folks to the live streams on LinkedIn that I think are relevant. And I have noticed that that has increased my live viewership. And it's also a way to remind people that you're on the LinkedIn and creating content actively. So I'm trying to not only create the content for you, but to share the strategy. Number one, to solidify the fact that I am indeed a tech educator. I know what I'm doing. This is not like this is not a shot in the dark situation. It's very purposeful. But I also, again, want to provide an opportunity for people to learn without having to enter through a paywall. I have been incredibly blessed to partner with companies like Engie, where just showing up here is a paid gig for me. So all I need to do is deliver on the content. And the more that you support tech companies and what they're trying to do, the more they in turn support you. That's just how relationships work. Mutually beneficial relationships are always the way to grow. You can be the smartest person in the room, your marketing strategy can be flawless, but if you are not a decent human being, people don't come back. They just don't come back. So even if, you're motivated by money, like I'm not, because I could care less, but maybe that's your thing. that is a great money-making strategy. Be a decent human being. Just be good, be nice, be kind. It's easy. Well, it's not always easy because some of y'all, but you can do it. How about that? You can do it. So let's see here in the comments. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much. Nina, that headshot. Yes, girl. Love it. I see a lot of canvas, so I guess y'all gonna get a video. Y'all better watch it. Y'all better not skip the ads. Okay. Happy to help. But truly, I hope that you take this opportunity today to think about the women in your life that are doing the best they can, that simply need your support to, share their content. That's free. Like their page, follow their content. Like, I want you, here's your challenge. I want you to think about 3 women, whether you are on LinkedIn, on YouTube. YouTube is harder. So maybe like LinkedIn, Instagram. Who are 3 women that you can tag in a post today and use your platform to elevate them on your feed? 3 people. When I tell you, when people tag me, it makes me feel so seen and so heard. And it is such an encouragement. Like, do that for somebody today because it is so hard. It is so hard to be a small business owner. Like, it's so fulfilling. It hurts so good. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fulfilling, but it is hard and it's getting harder. Inflation is smacking us too. Gas prices smacking us too. Price of food smacking us too. And so I would just encourage you, find 3 women in your life that you can help them to feel seen and heard and loved and appreciated and cherished by the words that you share on social media today. Like, be a good human being and post something nice. I know there's plenty of trash things happening on the news. Don't even get me started about some of it. But like, take the time to be like, you know what? For one day, for today, for International Women's Day, I am going to put that aside. I'm going to box up my righteous rage. I'll save it for March 9th. But on March 8th, I'm going to put service above self and I'm going to focus on somebody else other than me. I am going to be sacrificial with my desire to trash talk the events of the news and just be a nice human being. Like, just give it a try. It feels good. It feels good. So that's my soapbox moment for today, y'all. I mean, that's just how I feel. That's the truth. It's my day. It was my month last month. It's my month again. So prepare to be sick of me because I'm gonna leverage all of this because I know if I grow, I'm taking my community with me, and I can't wait. When I tell you, the members in my membership are just rock stars. Shelby just released a LinkedIn learning course, a course about StreamYard. Lex and I are going to teach later this month. Aaron and I taught in February. Like, there's so many incredible women in that group. And I am just honored and privileged to teach them YouTube because they teach me all the time. So I got stuff to do. I got some small businesses to go spend my shmoney with. But again, think of 3 women, make them feel seen and heard, tag them on Instagram, tag them on LinkedIn, and you will make their day. Until next time, ta-ta for